set lists in Apple Music, a new Beats pill, Russians buying more iPhones, and Apple counterfeit product seizure. This is MacVoices. MacVoices is supported by the MacVoices Slack. Discussions, questions, and answers, and a place to talk tech with your friends. The MacVoices Slack is available to all patrons of MacVoices. Sign up at patreon.com/MacVoices and join in. Will anybody use this new feature that Apple Music now let artists publish their concert set lists? Anybody think this is interesting?
Anybody on this panel?
Yeah, anybody. Well, anybody within earshot. Yes.
I don't know if I'll use it. I've used similar services that you can go on the internet and find out what artists do what sets in what towns. I don't see a lot of concerts. Sometimes I'll go and see them, and then I'll check to see what the set list was, because there was a song or two in there that I couldn't quite remember. But the times that I've done it ahead of time kind of ruins the concert for me, because you lose the discovery aspect of what the artist is doing on stage when you're mentally going through the checklist that you read the day before.
I guess you never watch repeats.
Watch repeats of what? Concerts?
Anything.
I don't actually.
That's certainly a valid point of view, but I'm not like that. I'll watch things I've watched before, so I obviously know how they come out. I don't know, Chuck. I'm kind of are you questioning whether Apple should have done this or?
No. So I will use this, but in the reverse of what Marty's talking about. I usually, if I'm going to see a headlining band, I'm pretty familiar with their music. It's the opening bands that I feel like I don't give enough credit to unless they just do an outstanding job. So I would love to listen to the set list from maybe a show earlier in the week or in the month and have some idea about where to dive into that opening band set, so that I have just a little bit of familiarity. Maybe I don't want to listen to it the day of or even the day before, but I would like to listen to it a little bit ahead of time so that I can appreciate or have an idea as to whether I really am going to enjoy it or whether it's time to go and get a drink. So that's the way I would use it.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Let's see, Webb?
Oh, I just, unlike Marty, I go to a lot of concerts. I went and saw Kristen Chenoweth Friday. I'm going to go see country star Alan Jackson on his farewell tour this coming Saturday. And yeah, I would do this, especially if there's some song that I heard and I had noticed it before and want to kind of get caught up with it and see what it is. Yeah, I think this is a fun tool. I wouldn't do it ahead of time, just for some of the same reasons that Marty said. But yeah, afterwards, I want to relive that magical moment. This is the closest thing that I can get, and I do use when I'm at a concert itself. There's a set list. I can't remember. Google it, but I'll do that when I'm at the concert. Just to kind of follow what's going on, what the next song is, and see. Sometimes it's interesting to see what changed from concert venue to concert venue too. But you got to get really hardcore to follow that along. So, but yeah, I think it's an interesting feature. I'll try to use it. I haven't had a whole lot of luck with set lists to begin with, so we'll see how successful I am. But yeah, I think it's interesting. I don't think it ruins anything for me.
I never have heard anybody that followed along on a set list during the show. That's something I wouldn't do because I might find it interesting after the fact, but as it is, I'm in the moment, and so
right.
I
want to be surprised.
But nothing wrong with it. It's just that's an interesting take on it.
I'm a party pooper. What can I say? I ruin it for everybody,
No, you don't ruin it for everyone. No, but think about just the way we're all approaching it a little bit differently. Eric?
Well, I listen to playlists from events. So if I go to some event and they've got background music, I'll go back later and check to see do they have an official playlist from that event and re-listen to it, because a lot of times it helps me remember the conversations I had throughout the night. And then when I'm reading a book, um, mostly like science fiction or like some adventure thing, oftentimes the writer will have a playlist in the back of the book. And I'll sometimes listen to that because whatever mood they were in when they wrote the chapter, it sometimes is better explained when you listen to the same music they were listening to, and it makes more sense. So I certainly could see looking at a playlist from an artist that could be kind of neat.
Okay. Marty?
Yeah, I think I would do it, as some people have expressed, after the concert, find the playlist. There might be some songs that I recognize, but I couldn't remember the title of, and I've done that. But I think the opportunity here is if you look at these set lists, then you can collect the songs on Apple Music into that order and then have your concert as you want it. And if they didn't play that song that you really liked, you could stick it into the playlist anyways and pretend that they did.
Like that.
Yeah. Dave?
Yeah, I like the surprise. I want to be at the concert and be able to be surprised with what they play. Many bands I've seen in the past, it's great. But then I like to go back afterwards, like everybody's last few you've been saying, and then look for that set list, and then go back and play it again and listen. So I find that to be fascinating to see all these set list websites that are sharing these particular lists of whatever concerts are out there.
So I think we have people that use them before. We have one guy that uses them during, and we have people that use them after. So this must be something that Apple should have done a long time ago.
Chuck, you missed one group. The people that couldn't go to the concert at all, but want to hear what the set was.
Good point, Jeff. That's a really good point. Because I know earlier this year I had to miss a concert that I really wanted to go to. And I was curious to see if the set list remained the same from earlier in the tour when I had seen it. So I hadn't even thought about that use.
You're welcome.
Okay, so good for you, Apple. Good job. Okay, under the does anybody care department? Does anybody care that Apple teams up with Kim Kardashian for a new Beats pill design?
No.
Oh, yes.
I sense that sarcasm in your voice, Jim.
Oh, no.
Would it be weird if I non-sarcastically said yes?
Oh, yes.
You know,
All right.
I brought that same level of sarcasm to dinner tonight, and my daughter straightened me out. It is a big deal. It's a demographic that follows her. They see more social engagement from her in terms of doing things in prisons and doing things, in the community.
Prisons?
Yeah, she's working with prisoners in some capacity. So they see a whole different side of it than what you see on Bravo TV or whatever channel that she's on now. And she is a movement. My daughter said, I could see her sometime working her way into being a presidential candidate. Now, that might not be the goal. That bar might have changed over the years. But my wife and I simultaneously decided we would be glad to be gone if that ever happens, which she didn't like to hear. But yeah,
It's off the wall.
forced to be reckoned.
I would like to be gone now. Marty,
Jeez.
let me just clarify that this was already a topic at your dining table.
Yeah,
how did this come up?
I was talking about this show tonight, and I said,
okay.
yeah,
So
we've got this story, and that's how it. Yeah,
that's right. This isn't the Accidental Tech podcast where no research is allowed.
Well, look, let's be fair about it. I mean, look at the group we have here. We're not the Kim Kardashian demographic. There's no question.
No.
But
Wait a minute.
Well, other than Jim, who has a Kim Kardashian t-shirt under the shirt that he's wearing at the moment, but I guess it does make a difference to some people as to celebrity endorsements and something like this. I mean, I looked at the pill. I mean, the pill speaker, and okay, it's two shades of gray. So, okay.
Yeah, I thought that was funny.
Yeah, Webb. Why are you holding your head in shame?
Oh, the set list thing that I do it during the show, and I holding my head in spoiler shame because on the previous story. So.
I thought maybe you were holding your head in shame because you had bought a Kim Kardashian Beats pill. So.
No, sir, I did not.
Okay, good. Good.
Not even by accident. So,
Jeff, you want to add into this just for the fun of it?
yeah, please, Jeff.
Sure. Marty nailed it. This is important because there are a lot of people that look to Kim Kardashian as a celebrity, but then also as a philanthropic public figure. And what she says, what she wears, what she likes, what she helps design, that matters to a lot of people. So Apple was super smart to bring her in to help design these new pills, and they'll sell because her followers are going to be like, all right, well, now that's the new Beat speaker I need to get.
And the Beat speakers themselves are they're good. They're real good. So, this is, by the way, before somebody sends me nasty emails, this is not Kim Kardashian hate or anything. This is just trying to figure it out. And maybe because we're not the demographic, as Marty has gently pointed out, or Marty's daughter has gently pointed out, yeah, maybe we're missing the point. So, Marty, you want to state that?
Yeah, there's a price difference. I was just on Amazon to check the price of these, and for her colors, the light gray and the darker gray, it's $149. If you go with the champagne, or you go with the black, or you go with the statement, what they call statement red, it's $129. So there's a $20 markup on her colors.
Okay. Brian.
Yeah, I was just reading the story. I was trying to see maybe if like a percentage of sales went to one of her causes or something like that. I was thinking, where Apple has done over the years the product red type things, but I don't see anything mentioned specifically on here.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to hear what the logic is behind that.
Yeah.
Next up, I don't know what to make of this, but Russian officials, the article, and this is who from Apple Insider. Russian officials buy four times more iPhones now than before they were banned in Russia. So this is why I don't worry about the iPhone ever really losing significant market share, because everybody wants an iPhone.
Okay,
including the Russians. Jeff, go for it.
Here, okay. First, this comes from what they state right up front is an unreliable source. Okay. Now, moving on from there, this is not about Russians in general, the general population. This is about a ban on government employees having iPhones, and the number of iPhones that have actually been purchased, we don't exactly know. It's definitely up from what it was previous or last year. Wow, it's definitely up year over year for government purchases of iPhones in Russia. So apparently, either this isn't being enforced, or it only applies to specific parts of the government in Russia. But keep in mind, this comes from an unreliable source. So this isn't about, well, no one can buy an iPhone in Russia, and suddenly everyone, all the citizens are buying them. This is just about a subset in the Russian government.
Okay. All fair points, Jeff. All fair points. But it wouldn't be the first time we've seen that something that was banned somewhere suddenly became even extra popular.
You know,
remember
the reason
too,
for the go ahead,
yeah,
Jim.
that's what I was going to say. The reason for the ban is because the Russians think that Americans are spying on them.
And they're using the iPhone specifically to do it.
Yeah.
Marty?
Yeah, my question was what Jim was alluding to in terms of that it's banned because Americans are spying on them. At the same time, it could be banned because it's this level of security that if it's locked, they might not be able to get into them for their employees to find out information on them. So, or their use.
Or it just could be one more thing that the existing Russian administration doesn't want to have coming over from the West. And yet, unreliable source
if you
or
go
not.
to the Reuters article, it has a link to another Reuters story from a month ago saying that in general, demand for iPhones in Russia is pre-order demand in Russia for the new iPhone is 15% higher than it was last year, even though it is at least 50% more expensive than in the West. So that certainly goes to your point, Chuck, that, people want iPhones, which shocker. And that seems more than this report, which, it's like, well, they say it's unreliable. And how would anybody know, who's collecting this information about Russian, officials?
Excuse me. Jeff, did you want to give us a Spock comment?
Sure. And Eric, your response to the private comment I made, this is one of the many reasons why I love you too. So, all right. Spock in Amok Time, after spoiler alert, after T'Pring ends up getting to have Ston as her mate, Spock turns to Ston and tells him that he may find that having may not be as pleasurable as wanting. And the implication in that point was, or in that case, was that now that Ston has T'Pring, he might find that he's not quite as happy with what he got. But where I'm really going with this is, once you can't have something, the desire to have it can immediately go up simply because you're not supposed to have it.
Absolutely true. Absolutely true. Well, we'll see. We'll see if any reliable sources come forth. Although, given the Russia propaganda machine, I'm not sure that's very likely. From Russia, we go from Russia to Ireland, where the Irish police have seized more than $170,000 in counterfeit Apple products. And there's a great photo here that looks like it's everywhere. Everything from from AirPod Pros, a whole lot of different cases, AirPods. Yeah, I'm sorry, I said that wrong. The AirPods Max, as well as AirPods Pro, and some of the other things. I'm not quite sure what all those things are, but just a lot of counterfeit stuff.
Yeah, when I saw the picture of 170K, I kind of looked at the picture and I thought, this is a normal shopping day for me at Apple. It just didn't look like 170K worth of stuff.
Well, I don't, the obvious thing is we don't.
Devices. That's not that much.
Yeah.
I mean,
and we don't.
Well, and the
know
photo
what
doesn't have any iPhones in it. It has a bunch of iPhone cases.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So clearly not a complete inventory.
but there's two AirPods Max, so that's
right. So they don't even need to put iPhones in here. They've already hit 170,000.
You don't see any knockoff fine woven products on there, though, do you?
Look, these criminals, they had taste. Even they wouldn't steal those.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, all you need is what? I'm trying to do the math in my head. 200 Vision Pros, and that would take care of it.
I haven't heard about anybody making a counterfeit Vision Pro yet.
No.
Somebody
kind of hard thing to do.
Somebody took a MetaQuest headset and stuck an Apple logo sticker on it.
They spray painted the front black, glossy black, stuck an Apple sticker on it.
Yeah.
And two googly eyes on the front.
Either that or just went and got a scuba mask and sprayed it black. It gets even worse.
Yeah, I might get a couple of those button eyes for my MetaQuest to put them on just to freak people out.
Do it.
Your daughter will have another talk with you at dinner, Marty.
Yeah.
I've known people that ended up with counterfeit Apple products. They didn't buy them. They brought them somewhere that we would consider less reliable. Something happened. They took them to an Apple store to have them serviced or replaced. And they said, nope, these are counterfeit. And sometimes I've honestly forgotten now, but there was a set of AirPods Pro that somebody took in, and because one of the labels inside the case, there's some writing somewhere in there that was upside down, and they said that's how they could tell. So I don't know. As far as I'm concerned, it just means that we need to all pay attention to where we're buying these things, just to be sure that we aren't buying counterfeits.
Visit MacVoices.com for show notes and to connect with Chuck on social media. Get involved in our Facebook group or like our Facebook page, and get more out of your Apple tech with MacVoices Magazine, free on Flipboard and on the web. And if you find value in it all, consider supporting us through either our Patreon campaign at patreon.com/MacVoices or by making a one-time donation via the PayPal link on our front page and in the show notes of each episode. You will join these fine people who help bring you Mac Voices. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media at backbeatmedia.com. Bandwidth provided by CacheFly at cachefly.com.